All right, we're going to have a look at rounding numbers. So if we have the number 24 and we need to decide which 10 that's closer to, is it closer to the 20 or is it closer to the 30? Have a look at the numbers on the rounding mountain. These represent the ones column. So have a look. There is 20, and then it would be 21, 22, 23, 24. Any of those numbers, go back and you round to the closest 10. The closest 10 there is 20. If I had a number 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, you would round that down to 30. But 24 rounded down would be 20. So the nearest 10 to 24 is 20. Now if we change that number and it becomes 57, well that's between 50 and 60. We need to round it to the nearest 10. If you look on the rounding mountain, the 7 is heading to the next 10. And the next 10 in this instance is 60. So 57 is rounded to 60. Let's look at 33. 33 is between 30 and 40. Have a look at this one. Which way do you think we would round this? Do you think we would round 33 to 30? Or would we round it to 40? Have a look on the rounding mountain. You would round down 33. You would round down to 30. Now, one of the main things to pay attention to when we're looking at the rounding mountain is the number 5. Okay, the number 5 is in between the 10s. Okay, it's right in the middle. However, if it is on 5, if the number is 15, you round up. If the number is 55, you round up. So 15 would round up to 20, 55 you'd round up to 60. If it's in the middle and it has a 5, you round up. 85 would become 90. Now you can round to the nearest 10. So I've had a little look at that. You can also round to the nearest 100. Let's have a look at that. Now I have beautifully edited the rounding mountain. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, we're rounding to the nearest 100 now. So let me put a 3-digit number in the middle and we'll have a look how we round. Let's start with the number in the middle there, 423. So the hundreds that's between, so it's between 400 and 500. Now when we are rounding to the nearest 100, we need to look at the tens column. Now, in the tens column in 423, there is a 2. There's 2 tens. Okay, it's that 20 in the 423. Now, if we look at the rounding mountain, 20, you round down the mountain back to the nearest 100, which in this case is 400. So 423, you would round down to 400. Let's look at another example. Let's look at the number 692. Now that comes between 600 and 700. Now we are focused on the tens column. Look at the number 692. In the tens column is the 9. There is 90 in 692. So find the 90 on the rounding mountain. It's on the right hand side there. And it's very close to the 700. So this one's an easy one. We round up to 700. 692, we round to 700. The last one we'll look at before I show you the task is 150. Now 150 is exactly halfway between 100 and 200. However, the 50 is like the 5 when we round to the nearest 10. You round up to the next number. So look where the 50 is, that's sliding down to the 200. So 150 becomes 200 when we round to the nearest 100. All right, let's have a look at the task. Hi guys, what you need is a sheet of paper and you need to fold it into thirds. So in the middle, let me see how I can show you this. In the middle, then fold this one over that and meet in the middle and go over and then unfold it and you've got 2 lines straight down. Okay. Now it doesn't matter if you go portrait or landscape. If you want more space, do it landscape. Okay, but you need 3 columns. Let me show you the task. All right, to start with, you need to write number in the first column. Next column needs to be nearest 10. Last column, we're going to leave for a second. We'll come back to that. Now I'm going to roll a 2-digit number to start with. 3, 0. 30. Okay, that is a 10. So that's an easy one. That just stays 30. Let's roll a different number. 5 and 7, 57. So look at the ones column. All right, is that going to go up to 60 or down to 50? What's it closer to? It's closer to 60. It's only 3 away. So we round up to 60. So we're rounding to the nearest 10. So 57 becomes 60. 6 and 1. Let's do 61. Now, look at the ones column for 61. Are we going to round all the way up to 70 or down to 60? We're going to round down to 60 because it's the closest. So that answer is 60 as well. So rounding to the nearest 10, it's 60. Let's do one more rounding to the nearest 10. So 2 and 8, 28. 28. Now, is that closer to 30? Are we rounding up to 30 or are we rounding down to 20? We're going to round up. It's only 2 away from 30. So the nearest 10 is 30. All right. So that's rounding to the nearest 10. I have done 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for my example. You might like to do a couple more. But if you're very confident in that and you'd love a challenge, then I want you to do this. Okay, if you think you still need to work on this, if you're still having a bit of trouble, keep going with the nearest 10. But I'm going to show you the next step, which is nearest 100. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to roll a 3-digit number for this. So 806. 806 is 806. Let's look at the nearest 10. So when it's 6, we go to the next 10. Okay, we go up. So the next 10 here will be 810. All right. And we're rounding to the nearest 100 now. All right, let's look in this column. 0. Okay, so it's going to stay 800. So it's only 6 away from 800 and it's 94 away from 900. So 806 is closer to 800 than it is 900. So we round to the nearest 100 and the nearest 100 is 800. Let me show you a couple more examples. Let me roll a couple more. Now, if you don't have a dice, you can make up your own numbers if you'd like. And if you have a dice, try and get a 10-sided dice if you've got one. You can use interactive dice online pretty easy as well. So 3, 9, 0. So 390. Well, this is going to be easy for the nearest 10 because it is a 10. It landed on a 10. So it stays the same, 390. Let's look at the nearest 100. We need to look in the tens column. There's a 9 in the tens column. It's 390. So we are rounding to the nearest 10. Sorry, nearest 100. Is it closer to 300 or is it closer to 400? It's closer to 400. It's only 10 away. So remember, if the numbers that we're looking at, in this case in the tens column, are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we round up. And if it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, we round down. Let's do one more together. 2, 1, 7. 217. All right, let's look at the nearest 10. Let's have a look at the ones column. Now it's 7. It's 7 ones. So we're going to go up, okay? 5 and up, we round up. So that becomes 220, okay? Let's have a look at the 100. So let's look at the tens column. There's 1 in the tens column. So is it closer to 200 or is it closer to 300? 217. It's only 17 away from 200. This is your task for today. I'm going to leave it up to you whether you want to keep it to the nearest 10, okay, and work on that, because that's tricky enough. But if you're looking for a challenge, absolutely open it up and give it a go for the nearest 100. So if you're doing nearest 10 to start with, you can do 2-digit numbers. And if you want that challenge, go to 3-digit numbers. This is your task, okay? I'm not going to say how many you need to do because people are going to work at a different pace, okay? You need to do this for 15 or 20 minutes, see how many you can get done in that time. All right, go for it.